Hey Gemini, this is your September 2019 Angel Tarot card reading. I have been called to do this reading for a few days. You guys, and by you guys I mean us, me, we have been super chatty, but very much in our heads kind of chatty. So I've been thinking for a few days, you know what, I really want to get this. I really want to record what's happening for us because I feel like this is a really pivotal moment in our uh, the next phase of our lives. Um, when we came out of July and all of the planetary activity, I was saying on our behalf that if in July we could somehow maintain our composure, maintain our goodwill, do our best to be creative and not take things personally, do our best to just roll with the punches. And if carrying any of that into August, knowing that we were going to need to take a break, take a rest, um, you know, sit down for a minute, lay down for a minute, whatever it may be, that the rest of the year, it's not necessarily going to be a picnic, but that the rest of the year, that was going to play a big role in how the rest of the year was going to treat us, because we were going to set the stage for a lot of things to come to us instead of having to work so hard, instead of having to be so on top of things, push people, remind people, be in their face, things were going to be a little bit easier. So I feel like September is going to be a little bit of that message. It's just so fascinating to me because I also feel like it's almost a portal into another, it's like a portal into another dimension in ways. If I don't know if you all are kind of getting this sense that there's a part of you that wants to break away. There's a part of you that wants to be free, but you're not sure from what, and you're not sure from who. It's not necessarily the people that you're around. It's not necessarily what you're doing. It's a part of your personality. It's a part of how you act, um, how you respond to challenges, how you respond to um, yeah, you want to be authentically who you are. And some of that may come at a price. It may come at a price of um, some people not liking it, or some people not wanting to see. I don't even know if it's really other people as much as it is you just saying, you know what, I can't really concern myself with who or what this is, or or who cares about it. I'm just going to be myself on every level in every minute. I'm going to be who I am at every level, every minute of every day. I mean, I don't know who can say that. I don't know who can do that. that's if you're really honest with yourself, that's that's very challenging. But I feel like that's the kind of breakaway that you're wanting to do. Um, and you may need some assistance. You may need a counselor, therapist, somebody who's very in tune with you to keep you accountable, to keep you on point, to make this it doesn't have to be a test, but make it the accountable journey, the accountable but in a fun way, something that's fun. We have been, in my opinion, very concentrated on making ourselves better. How can I make myself a better person? How can I make myself a better friend? How can I make myself a better daughter, wife, significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend? Um, yeah, I attach no gender. It's just because I'm female that I'm that I'm saying what I'm saying. So whatever you are, whatever you assign yourself to, all are welcome. Um, but it's like I feel like we've been doing everything we can to be our personal best, and this is not that. It's not that. It's a freedom type of accountability. It's being free to be yourself in the best possible way. Um, and the only caveat there is that you don't want to alienate people who are in your corner. So, as an example, it wouldn't be like, I'm going to go into work and I'm going to say, F off, I don't want to be here today. Or, oh, you have some constructive criticism? Well, screw you. Because people are always going to have that. I'm just thinking that we're not going to take it so personal now. We're not going to be as invested in what other people, uh, how they want us to be or what that might look like. It's always challenging because, to me, this is where the corporate grip has just taken a hold of most people, because it's not so much what will people think, what if I do this, what will happen. It's that they sign the checks and they literally, can predict our future because they have the knowledge about where they see our names in a spreadsheet going. But I feel like you're on to the game now. You're on to the um, that part of us that says, you know what, I can't worry about that. I have to be myself. If that's what they need, great. If not, I'll have to find another job, another significant other. My family's going to have to deal. My kids are going to have to deal. I mean, um, it's just you being yourself and enjoying taking a breath in the moment, being true to yourself in the moment. And I think you're going to be an example for other people. I just am asking you, as I'm asking myself, to take note that you're going to have that in spades. And so it might be necessary just to temper your words, to temper your, you might want to cuss when it's inappropriate. You might want to say something about your boss when it's inappropriate. You might want to say something about your parents when it's inappropriate, or your wife, or your husband, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, roommate, whatever. And and that could come back to bite you. So, not because anybody's out to get you, but just because you're so in your element that people are going to be, it's going to be memorable. It's going to be like, oh my God, that was hilarious. Remember that moment when, and you're going to be like, oh, jeez, yeah, I actually do. And I wish I didn't. So just, pull back a little bit, and do that when you're alone, or have those moments when you're, with super trusted company. Um, Certainly not moments when it can be recorded, not moments when it can be in a group setting, where it's one or two people that you really trust, and that have really got your back. So, but by and large, I feel like this is a month where you're going to get major downloads, you're going to get major opportunities to better yourself, further your experience to nature, to higher dimensions, um, to animal and plant life. So if you have pets, giving them extra care, extra love, they're certainly going to feel it. They're going to respond, I think, in really positive ways. So if you've had like behavioral issues with pets recently, I think this can be a very positive turnaround time, um, where you can get you can make some major progress. So, and if you're into adoption, fostering, um, for children or animals, this is a great time to do that, to consider that. Um, because you're not going to be super attached to outcomes. And so you're going to be very into, let me just pour out who I am, what I'm about, and just let things, kind of settle. You're not going to be, uh, I don't feel like you're going to be super into, well, what's that mean for, um, how am I going to see the fruit of my results, the fruit of my labors? That's really not what it's going to be about. It's going to be just about putting yourself out there, putting your feelings out there, your love out there, and then waiting to see how people respond. The other thing I'm getting is, this can also be a time where you try to go back and, well, I'm just going to see how that person is doing, or how that former girlfriend, boyfriend, feels about me now, and maybe find yourself in a pseudo relationship that you don't even want to be in, or a pseudo semi commitment that you don't mean to be attached to. So just be aware that, in all of this, hey, I'm just going to be my authentic self, stage that you're in, that it is kind of a stage, and that it's not, you're not going to be super interested in somebody necessarily at the end of the year. So, and you might resent them if they're into this, authentic you, but they haven't been so much before or after, and you might find yourself really challenged with this person, either keeping them or letting them go. Something about that is going to be, just make this time about yourself, make this time about you growing and what that looks like. And if you want to pour it into a class, or a new exercise routine, or a a new hobby, or even to your partner or a friend. That's great. Or a pet, like I said, to foster. This is a great time to foster because you're not going to be super attached. You're not going to find yourself in a position where it's like, I really, by December, oh, I really miss, or I really need, or I really want. I don't feel like it's going to be that. I feel like this is one of those moments where you can kind of give back to the universe and not expect a whole lot in return. Or if you're expecting something, don't, because things are going to be very changeable. So that is my long-winded intro, but I think it was important because we had been chatty. So hold please while I get my glasses. Oh, the benefits of age. You get to wear your glasses and feel important. Um, we get the Hermit in the reverse, and that is Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. Hold one more second, please. So I have done several, I've been doing several notes to myself around angels and archangels. And some of the downloads that I've been getting, I was thinking, you know what, these are important for readings. And so I just wanted to put this out there for you all. So anytime we get the first card as an archangel card, is very promising, very hopeful. And the notes I have for Raziel are opening doors to opportunity and interpreting your dreams. So this is going to be a great window in time to do dream interpretation. I have been getting into dreams and dream interpretation for a while now. I just find it fascinating, and there are so many websites. There are so many types of interpretations. For everyone that you find in a traditional sense, there's also one in Islam, or there are versions for every type and every way that you can interpret your dreams. But where I feel like this could be really important in September is that you could get some almost not symbolic, but very literal. Your dream might be, I was driving in my car and I took a left and I should have taken a right. And it was like, yeah, should have done that. Should have done that on a Tuesday. Like you will literally start to go to your job or to a friend's house and you're like, why did I take a left? I was supposed to take a right. I always take a right. Why did I take a left? And that's going to be the type of interpretation that you can find yourself doing before it happens. and I'm not saying every dream is going to have a meaning or everything is going to be like oh my gosh, what an amazing, what an amazing journey that took me on. But 9 also being the number of adventure and travel and higher learning and the number of Sagittarius. So if you have Sagittarius in your chart, or in a significant other, just you're just going to be, I feel like, hyper aware, and you're going to remember things. You're going to remember dreams more than you would. You're going to maybe potentially travel someplace and feel like you've been there before, feel like you've, like this is a place I know, this is a person that I know. I don't know how I know them, but I feel like I know them. And like I said at the beginning, just getting to a point where you're feeling like I'm enjoying feeling like I'm kind of one with nature, one with the universe, and I'm not judging it. I'm not attached to it. I'm not, I don't have a prediction on the outcome. I'm not trying to sway people. I'm just being myself. And if it takes me, to the left instead of the right, I'm just going to roll with that. And I'm going to do my best, obviously, to be my best, but I'm not super committed to having people like me or trust me or want me, or, I'm just going to be me. So for Raziel, call on him for leading you to some of those doors that maybe you wouldn't be led to in the past to be opened now. 5 of air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation. Review everyone's motives. So I've said this a lot. Air cards for me are usually about nervous tension. Sometimes, most cases, it's nervous tension that we create for ourselves. It's not necessarily what's coming from other people. It's what we are attempting to predict, attempting to navigate, thinking it's there when it's really not, or trying to interpret when it doesn't have to be as difficult as we're making it. Not that it's not going to be difficult, or not that it's not going to be challenging. I feel like September is still going to be challenging, but I don't feel like it's going to be challenging in the way that July and August were. I feel like this could potentially be a lot more about what's in our head. We're gonna need to find ways to release this tension. We're gonna need to find ways to, if it's exercise or yoga or breath work or counseling or sex or whatever your outlet is going to be, find it, because 5 also, I always see 5 as the number of change. You're either going to create change, or change is just going to be upon you, and you want it to be positive. I'm getting acupuncture too. I've been personally drawn to acupuncture. I've done it in the past, but I've been drawn to that in the last few months. So I feel like that could be very super, very positive for us at this time. I'm just going to read the book on the 5 of air. The situation hasn't worked out the way you'd hoped, but you can keep trying. And I'm going to paraphrase here. Your power lies not in how the chips fall, but in how you handle yourself moving forward, which is the phase that I feel like we've been in for a couple months. So you know how to deal with this. You may now feel that the cost of the venture is too high. Evaluate the way events have transpired in order to gain valuable lessons for your future. Someone in the situation isn't coming from a place of integrity. I'm getting that this could be a boss, a significant other, a partner, collaborator, child, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. The desire to win is so strong that this person will ignore others' needs, review everyone's motives, including your own, and do what you can to foster a win-win resolution. So, yeah, your potential desire to get even will backfire. So it's going to be very tempting because I think you're going to see a window or a door or a sure thing. And that sure thing is going to come back to bite you because it's not coming from the best possible version of yourself, of who you know that you can be and how you would want to be treated in that situation if you if you had an opportunity to catch somebody. You would want someone to give you a pass as well, and it's going to come back to you anyway. So if as an example, if you're in a team meeting and someone cusses or someone uses you know uh, another person's name and it feels like it's racially motivated or gender motivated or it's not going to be in your best interest to call it out because you're going to be the person on point that they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the incident. They're going to remember you calling it out. They're going to remember you making a comment after the fact or you spreading a story or a memory for other people. So I know that that's not genuinely who you are, and this goes back to just genuinely being yourself and just being the person true to who you are and not caring about how other people are gonna operate at this time. Seven of Fire, defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely. Yeah, so you're going to be interested in partnerships, in relationships, in other people. I feel like you're in some ways you're gonna want to make connections, but they're not necessarily going to be connections that in December you're going to be happy with. That you're going to be like, oh, that was that's a long-term connection. I don't feel like that's how it's going to be. It's going to be more like a fleeting care or a fleeting concern for other people that you're not going to find yourself um, in the long term. So the other way that can translate is into other people taking advantage of your work or your efforts or your not having sure, take that, do that. Yeah, I don't care if my name's on that. I don't care if I'm involved or not. Just, you know, finding that balance, finding that middle ground is going to be important because it is going to matter to you later in the year. And staying alert and staying vigilant and yes, knowing that you're right is important and feeling like, well, I'm right. So obviously things are going to turn out right for me. Um, Other people are going to want to take advantage of that. So and again, this isn't something to be hyper paranoid about, but I would say just document your interactions if you think it might be important later. Because you're not going to find yourself super interested in what other people think right now and what other people say right now. You're going to be much more into, well, this is how I feel, this is what I want, this is what I know to be true. And all of that is great. And being your authentic self is great. You're going to want to go back and note, hey, this is what somebody said, and this is why I didn't do X, Y, Z. And you're gonna want that. So if you've already started a document, just keep going. If this is for a boss or a coworker or somebody that reports to you, or not saying keep a document on your partner, your romantic partner. But if you just want to go back and note for yourself what happened, that can be that can just be a great gut check in terms of how you see yourself in the future. And I just remembered that when we got the Archangel card, it was in the reverse. So to me, this is speaking to, you're already in a self-discovery mode. You're already in a self-awareness mode. Just find a balance between other people and having that sense of self-awareness. So spending time alone is great because, as I said, you're going to be in this, you're going to find these opportunities to really get those downloads, um, to get that sense of, me being my true self is really what I'm here to do. But there's a lot of wisdom that can come from that, and just don't. There's a sense of, well, all of this is fleeting anyway, and I'm just going to go here instead of there. And yes, things are fleeting. Yes, nothing is permanent. But you don't want your actions or your words to come back to you in a negative way. So continue to be the positive, uplifting, and kind person, and don't revert to a, bratty, snobby, self, um, self-fulfilling type of um, behavior that is going to be really tempting right now. Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, witty. I love this card. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. I feel like this is you. This is a real Gemini card. We are the air sign, and we are queens. No gender attached. So, you're in your element. You're in your element. And 5, also the number of May for all you May born. Geminis. Yeah, I mean, you're really in your element if you take the positive Gemini qualities, the um, the darker side is flitting from here to there and never really having any concern for who you're hitting or what you're hitting on, literal or not. Um, Flirting and taking the flirt too far. Hurting someone's feelings because you think it's a joke. Um, you know, just the kind of stuff that you're always aware of. Um, when in doubt, aim for substance, aim for quality over quantity, in food and drink and sex again. Really finding ways to ground yourself where there seem to be there seems to be only passion. There's also opportunity uh, to find substance, and I'm getting for some of you, for some of us, this could be a new attraction, a new love. But I don't know that it would be long term. And I feel like if you already are aware of this person or already are attracted to this person, that you wouldn't necessarily find them attractive, or they wouldn't necessarily find you attractive after a few months, after a few weeks. So just be careful with how you pursue or allow yourself to be pursued. Because the substance may not be there after a certain point in time. It's not that you wouldn't learn something from each other or that you wouldn't necessarily even fall in love. You may. But that your interests are going to be in other places potentially. So there's no reason to hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want your feelings hurt. You don't want things going in a direction where, where you would be embarrassed or embarrass someone else. I am getting, though, for some of you that online dating right now could be really beneficial because, just meet somebody at Starbucks for 30 minutes and, hey, nice to meet you, great. See you around. Meeting people, chatting, what do you do? Oh, that's interesting. Finding outlets for some of this energy is going to be, like I said, really important. Exercise, meditation, breath work, meeting people, a hobby. Yeah, you can put it into your work, but I don't know that everybody is going to have an appreciation for all of the work, and you might find yourself resenting how other people respond. So put it into something that you will care about in the weeks and months to come. Life experience. Let go of belief systems that no longer serve you. An important life-changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities. Okay. So, interesting. So I was just saying that that you wouldn't necessarily be in a relationship that could go the distance. But what I'm getting here is that it's great to have that mindset so that you don't have an expectation because you could be taken by surprise. you could be taken by surprise in the best possible way. Where, because 16 also reduces to the number 7, and 7 is, again, the number of relationships, partnerships, contracts, and it could be a great surprise for you. So, change is also in the air, and 5, again, is the number of change. This card, this life experience card is the number of change. The card of change. But I don't feel like you're going to fear it. And there is nothing to fear at this point. The universe is sending you opportunities and keeping your eyes on the future and keeping your eyes on not necessarily what you have now or what you could have later, but enjoying the moment of the transition, enjoying the moment of what's happening in the moment instead of concerning yourself with a goal. This is an opportunity for you to acknowledge that you want things to change, that you want to be awakened, that you're ready for seeing yourself as you truly are, but not for judging yourself, not for judging other people around you, not for having a belief system that is harsh or uncaring. It's really about letting go of some of these things that as the card says, no longer serve you. Yes, your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. Yeah, I feel like you're really going to be in your element, and on the times at the points where you're going to be challenged, you're going to know the right way to go. You're going to know other people's motives. You're going to understand where people are coming from, and you're not necessarily going to give a shit, quite honestly. You're not necessarily going to care if somebody takes something the wrong way, or something is said about you and it's not true. And I'm not saying that you should necessarily, but pulling this card, I think, is just another validation for what the entire reading has been about, which is this is just more about being your full Gemini self, sun, moon, or rising. Or if you've got major Gemini in your chart, I feel like this is just a real solid confirmation of who you are as a person, or who you're interested in as a person. If you are interested in making major life changes, just consider, like I said, that you're always supported in every way, and in September you're going to be very much supported, but that you're not necessarily going to feel the same way about that person, place, or thing in the months to come. So you don't want to lead someone on. You don't necessarily want to sign a contract. You don't necessarily want to commit yourself to something that, well, I don't really have the energy for that anymore, or I don't really feel that way about that person, place, or thing. Or that's why I said it's going to be a great time to foster, because you can love something and set it free, which to me is the ultimate sign of love. So your intuition is on point. Just temper some of your enthusiasm, knowing that the future is, how you feel about the future is uncertain. Self-employment, you're a born entrepreneur and your business is surrounded by magical opportunities. Yep, so if you want to expand a business, start a business, expand on a hobby, start a hobby, not care really about the income that you're going to get, just enjoying what you're doing. That is going to be really critical and important right now because, like I said, this sense of attachment that most people have, you're not going to have in the month of September. And I'm being called to do 2 more cards, 8 of Earth and 10 of Water. So 8 of Earth, skilled work is rewarded, learning all you can about a topic, going back to school. So yeah, if you channel some of your energy into a certification, a class, a training, a protocol, something that will give you an outlet and a release, but will also provide you with potentially some reward at the end of the year, that can be very beneficial. And 10 of Water, a contented and rewarding family life, your emotional and material needs are met, trustworthy relationships. Yep, or put your energy into relationships. Put your energy into your partnerships at work, because 10 is also the number of the career, and how people perceive you. So really channeling your energy in September is going to be really super important so that you can find a outlet, find a release, and it's not a fleeting, although, meeting people and having a opportunity to get to know people is also a great thing without necessarily being, the next Mr. or Mrs. whoever in your life. There's benefit in that too. Like I'm saying, you just want to take other people's feelings into consideration because you don't want to. I know you're not the type of person who's going to want to hurt somebody's feelings at the end of the year. I also get ready, set, go. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desires. And blessed change, a major life change, brings you great blessings. So it's going to be a month of change. It's going to be a month where you feel change. It's going to be a month where you could get swept away in change. And like I said, just note for yourself that with all of this positive momentum, you're going to want to take a breath in the later months and evaluate where you're at. And you want to be able to look around and appreciate how far you've come. And so just making your moves wisely. Like I said, if you can document things, that's great, because you're going to be able to come back and say, well, this is what this person did, and this is what I said, and this is how it actually was, instead of how it felt in your mind at the moment, because your mind at the moment is going to be not necessarily scattered, not necessarily seeing things, though, uh, in the actual way that it's happening, but in how you want to see it and how you wish it to be. Um, and so documenting it and holding yourself accountable is going to be important too. All right, Gemini, that is your reading for September. I think it's super positive. I'm really excited for your next steps and your next phase. If you would like a personal reading from me, please go to my website, angelawakening.net. Um, Obviously, these are general, so would love to speak with you individually on your next journeys and your individualized readings. And I have discounts going on right now, so head over to my website if you're interested in more. Speak with you soon. Have a great month.